Good day and welcome to the part 3 video discussion of module 2, the parabolas. So for this topic, we are going to solve some situational problems involving the parabola. So for example, we have a satellite dish that has a shape called a paraboloid. So a paraboloid is just like a parabola nga naka 3D siya. So I believe nga nakakita na dyan mag satellite dish, no? So mura na siyang plato nga naka-curve, and sa middle niya kay naa na ang receiver or na siya murag kanang antena sa tunga-tunga. So where each cross-section is a parabola. So ang cross-section daw sa atong paraboloid, meaning if we are going to have a point, kung ato siyang tungaon, sa tunga ang paraboloid, then it will result to a parabola nga shape. So mura siya gingani kung tungaon nato ni siya ang atong paraboloid na atay shape sa parabola nga makuha. So, since radio signals, which is parallel to the axis, will bounce off the surface of the dish to the focus, the receiver should be placed at the focus. So, ang receiver, kay mo to siyang katong murag antenna, katong tunga sa imuhang satellite dish. So, naa kay distance nga pangitaon gikan sa bottom part sa imuhang paraboloid going to the focus. So focus nga distance ang ato ang gipangita from our paraboloid to our uh, receiver. So the question is, how far should be the receiver from our vertex? Then remember, vertex, that is the midpoint of our parabola. So if the dish is 12 feet across, meaning the distance from one point sa atong paraboloid going to the other point, so yahang tabok nga point, pagtabok niya nga point, so the distance or the diameter, the diameter ana niya is equal to 12 feet. And the depth or ang kalalumon sa ato ang paraboloid is equal to 4.5 feet deep at the vertex. So kung ato ning ikwaon ang cross-sectional part sa to ang paraboloid, so mahimo siyang ingani. So natay parabola that is placed at the origin. So again, ang distance across sa tong one end sa tong point sa parabola going to the other end, that is equal to 12 feet. So 12 feet ang distance ani niya. And the distance from diri sa taas going to our vertex, which is kaning nasa kinaubsan sa tong parabola, this is equal to 4.5 feet. Okay, so given ta na. So the question is, unsa daw ang distance sa ato ang vertex padulong sa ato ang focus? Kaya ang receiver dari daw siya dapat malocate sa ato ang focus. So again, the distance from our vertex to our focus, that is our C. So how do we solve that? So we need the distance of the focus from our vertex. So from the given parabola, so since it is opening upward and it is located at the origin, then we can use the formula x squared is equal to 4c times y. Okay, so since our parabola again is opening upward and it is located at the origin or 0, 0 nga coordinate, then we can simply use this formula. Next is we should locate a point on our parabola. So dapat maka-identify ta sa point sa atong parabola in order to solve this C. So kani si x ug si y, this is the point sa ato ang parabola. So here we can get our point P, which is si x and si y. So mo na tong x and y. So that is a point sa atong parabola. So naatay kani maka-identify ta that ang x nato nga axis is equal to 6 because ang distance across ani niya is 12, meaning ang katunga sa ato ang parabola, ay yung distance is 6, and the other part sa atong parabola has also a distance of 6. Meaning, ang atong x, so kani, atong x is equal to 6. And the y naman, that is the depth of our parabola. So, ang kalalumon sa atong parabola. So, that is also equal to 4.5. Kani nga height niya. So, nanatay x and y. So, at this point of our parabola, ang iyahang coordinate kay 6 and 4.5. So those are the values nga tong i-substitute sa tong x and y. So again, our x that is equal to 6. So we have 6 squared is equal to 4c times our y. So our y is 4.5. Okay. So 6 squared, that is equal to 36. And 4.5 times 4, that is equal to 18. Then we multiply it by c, so we have 18c. So to get the value of our c, we should divide both sides of our equation by 18. So makancel out si 18, ang mabilin si c. So our c is equal to 36 divided by 18. So 36 divided by 18, that is equal to 2. So our C here, the distance from our vertex going to our focus is equal to 2 feet. So that will be our final answer. So the receiver should be 2 feet away from our vertex. So, nga na lang. So in solving problems like this, so usually ang ginahatag na problem is kaning mga in words. So to solve problems like this, you should always illustrate the problem. So para mas dali ninyo ma-visualize unsaon pag-formulate sa equation, so drawingon ninyo. So mo na ang inyong unang buhaton. Then you are going to identify the equation to be used. Next are kanang i-identify nimo ang mga missing nga mga values sa imong equation. Okay? So another example. So the cable of a suspension bridge hangs in a shape of a parabola. So nadotay isa ka bridge. So 'di ba? Nakakita na mo ka ng bridge nga naa na siya murag kanang mga ga-support nga mga poles ba tawag ana, or towers. Then ang kanang towers kay na siya naka suspend nga mga cables. So the towers supporting the cables are 400 feet apart and 100 feet high. So ang height daw sa ato ang pole is 150 feet. So ang height ani ni pole, natay duha ka pole for example. So we set masayon kung atong iset always ang ato ang point sa origin. So kani atong bridge kay nakalay siya sa x-axis. Then ang midpoint niya na dari sa y-axis. So para mas dali. So ang gingon dere naatay 400 feet apart nga towers, meaning ang distance from one tower going to the other tower is 400. So since nato dere sa middle, so mag-count lang tag 200 feet going to our right, then 200 feet going to our left. So in total, we have 400 feet. So muna. So that is the distance sa tower. And the height of the tower is 150. So kani, yung kahabogon, this is 150 feet. So if the cable at its lowest, so ang kinaubsan daw sa tong cable, so atong cable kay nagform daw siya parabola, and ang iyang kinaubsan nga height is 30 feet above sa ato ang bridge. So if this is our bridge kani, mo na tong bridge. So 30 above ana niya nga feet, dira naka butang ang lowest point sa ato ang cable. So ang height ani niya, this is of course equal to 30 feet. Ang katas-on ani niya from the bridge. So the question is, how high is the cable 50 feet away horizontally from either of the tower? So wait lang gani sabang iro. Okay, so ang pangutana is unsa daw katasaon or kahabugon ang cable nga located 50 feet away sa ato ang tower. So, either daw sa atong tower. So, pwede kaning nga tower atong gamiton or kaning sa pika side. So, for example, we are going to use this tower nga nasa atong right side. So, 50 feet away sa atong tower. So, that is, so kung 200 ni siya, so mag-minus lang tag 50, then naa siya dari nga dapita nga point ang gipangita. So sa taas ani niya mo ni siya ang cable. So kani nga point ang gipangita. So ang gipangita kay how high, meaning kung mingutag high or height, that is the y coordinate sa ato ang cable. So given na tag x nga coordinate which is 150, so that is the distance from the midpoint going to kani siya nga gipangita nga point. So our goal here is to find the height sa ato ang cable. So naka-drawing na ta, naka-illustrate na ta. So kabalo na taon sa itong identify. So next step is we are going to identify which equation we should use. Diba? Kaya namatay 4 cases sa itong parabola. So the same, since this is parabola opening upward, so ang atong equation nga gamiton is equal to katong x minus h squared is equal to 4c y minus k kana. So kani atong equation nga gamiton. So nganong namay kaning h ug k, because our vertex is not located at the origin. So atong vertex kani midpoint sa atong cable nakalocate siya sa 0, 30, meaning 0 nga x then 30 nga y. So wala man siya nakasandal sa ground or sa atong bridge. So nakahang man siya gamay. So from here, we already know our vertex is equal to 0 and 30. So masimplify nato ni ato ang equation into x minus h. So our h is 0. So we have x minus 0 is simply equal to x. Then we have 4c times y minus k. So our k is equal to 30. So nanataani nga equation. So x squared is equal to 4c times y minus 30. So next is, we are going to assume, since si 4c, di ba si 4c, this is the distance sa ato ang, or si c, this is the distance of our vertex going to our focus or sa atong directrix. Since wala man nato siya gipangita, since this is not an important nga variable sa atong equation, then we are going to let 4c be equal to a. So the reason for that is para dili ta malibog. So dili ta malibog nga kwaon pa ba nato ni si 4c or dili na. Sorry nga na. So we can simply write x squared. So instead of writing 4c, isulat na nato siya a. So a times y minus 30. So this is just the same. Where, so pwede nato nasulatan a is equal to 4c. Ayan na. So next step is we are going to substitute a value sa atong point sa atong cable. So since we already identified nga ang isa ka point sa ato ang cable or sa atong parabola is located at 200 and 150 nga coordinate. So 200 ang x, that is because ang distance from 0 to the tower is equal to 200 and ang height sa tower is equal to 150. So we have this point x and y. So kaning si x and y mao ni ato i-substitute diri sa atong x and y. So ang atong gipangita una is our a. distance nato nga A. So because ang ato ang distance nga A that is always constant sa any point sa ato ang parabola, di ba? So substituting 200 nga x and 150 nga y, so we have 200 squared is equal to A times 150 minus 30. Or that is, kani may man siyang 120. So i-divide nato nig 120 both side sa atong equation, then we have A is equal to 200 squared over 120. So again, 120 is 150 minus 30. After that, 200 squared is equal to 4,000. So 4,000 divided by 120 is equal to 1,000 divided by 3 or 1,000 over 3. So that will be our value sa tong A. So kaning A nga value, ato nang i-substitute sa tong A nga value dere. Okay? Ay nga variable. So we have this equation na dayon. X squared is equal to 1,000 over 3. So again, that is our A times y minus 30. So naa na dayon ta ani nga equation. So if you have this equation, so any point sa imong cable, so kung dari ba kaha, kung dari makabalo na ta sa iyahang coordinate. As long as you have at least one nga point sa iyaha. So for example, naata sa 0. So unsa man ang height niya diri? So we already know that is 30. So if you are going to substitute 0 sa tong x and we are going to find y, then it will result to 30. Okay, you can try that. But sa atong problem, ang gipangita is what is the distance, what is the height of our cable at the distance 150, or that is 50 feet away from our tower. So mana siya ang atong problem. So since nanatay x, so all we need to find is our y. So just substitute the values atong x dere, that is equal to 150. So naata ani, by the way, this equation can be manipulated into something like this. Since y man ang atong gipangita or the height sa atong cable, so gyud sa man na sir. So that is simply si 3 gi-multiply ni 3 ni x squared. So we have 3x squared. After that, gi-divide og 1,000. So 3 divided by 1,000, that is equal to 0.003x squared. After that, so kanina lang mabilin sa to ang right side sa to equation. I-transfer na to si negative 30 sa pika side sa tong equation. This will become positive. So mo nang may siyang plus 30. So mabilin sa right side is our y na lang. Or it can be written as y is equal to 0.003 x squared plus 30. So if you're going to substitute the value of your x here, so again, ang value sa tong x is equal to 150. So 150 squared. So 150 squared is equal to 22,500. Then you multiply it by 0.003. So that is 67.5. Then you add 30. So that will result to 97.5. So this is our final answer. So at this point, ang answer din nato sa atong y is equal to 97.5. So how will you check that if your answer is right? So from our illustration, si 100 na siya diri. Then ang atong point, duol ra siya sa ato ang 100. So wala pa jud siya ni touch ni 100 nga point. And also, wala po siya nilapas ni 150. So we can conclude that, or we can assume that our answer is right. So how about sir, if we are going to use the other side of our tower? So the same lang a process. So kani nga distance, instead of positive 150, this will become negative 150. And again, unknown si y. So ang gingon sa problem is how high is the cable 150 away horizontally from either of the tower. So you can use this tower 1 or tower 2. So negative 150. So remember sa tong formula na atay x squared. So, any number raised to square. So, kung square nimo siya, raised to 2, kay ma-positive siya. So, even if this is negative 150, so negative 150 squared is equal to 22,500. Then you multiply it by 0.003, that is 67.5. Then you plus 30. So, you get the same answer. Okay? So, the cable is 97.5 high, 50 feet away from either of the tower. So that will be the final answer. So for your seat work, I want you to answer this exercise. So kaning exercise, this will be your seat work number 2. Then, so answer these 5 problems here. Then for your assignment, kaning assessment. So assignment number 2. So I will assign this sa Quipper and the deadline will be announced sa tuang group chat. So for assessment or assignment 2, just answer numbers 1 and 2. Okay? So ayan na ning 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kay taas na kayo. So again, seatwork number 2, numbers 1 to 5. Assignment number 2 is numbers 1 and 2. So that's all for module 2, the topic, the parabolas.